I cheated on my husband, and now I think the chicken has come home to roast. What I did in the secret has now come back to haunt me. Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me, your girl, Ndubeze Ogechukwu, Best. And I want to tell you this story. Listen and please let me know your thoughts in the comment section. So there is this lady, she's a university graduate, but she got married when she was in her final year. So after her graduation, her call-up letter came up for her to go for her National Youth Service. So for those of you who are not Nigerians, there is this thing that we call National Youth Service Corps in Nigeria. It is mandatory for every university graduate to attend his or her National Youth Service Corps. You must give your country that 1 year of service. Yes, it is a must. And this lady is married. And once you are married, you can serve in the same state that your husband is residing. But this lady said that no, she don't want to serve in the state that her husband is residing. The reason being that she grew up in that state, that she went to school in that same state, and now she got married in that same state, so that she wants to explore other states. For that reason, she wants to go outside that very state that her husband is residing for her 1 year mandatory youth service. And her husband obliged her because her husband loves her so much. So when her call-up letter came up, she was posted in the northern part of Nigeria. And luckily for her, 5 of her friends was posted to the same state that she was posted to. So all of them went to that state together. So when they got to the States, and 5 of her friends are not married, she was the only one among them that is married. And you know, girls now, most of these girls, they started flirting. They started mingling around. They started doing some runs, And she is married. Instead of her to respect the fact that her bride price has been paid, that she is a married woman, she joined her friends and started having an affair with a man. And on the process, she got pregnant. And when she told her friends was like, girl, what have you done? Have you forgotten that you are married? How could you do this? You even went down with this man unprotected. What if you have contacted STD? And she said no, that she and the man went to the hospital and that the medical practitioner confirmed that her and the man is free from an STD, and that the man promised her huge sum of money if she will agree to go down with him raw. That is why she agreed to go down with the man. So her friend said, girl, you've made a terrible mistake. But you know what? You are not keeping this because you know that you're a married woman and your husband is not responsible. You have to do away with this. And she agreed, and they do away with the pregnancy. And after her 1 year youth service in the northern part of Nigeria, they all came back home. I mean, she and her friends. She now started living with her husband. And you know, in most of African home, once you are married, the next thing that people are expecting from you is for you to get pregnant and start reproducing. Yes, to get pregnant and start giving birth. Yes. So this lady, when she came back after her National Youth Service in the northern part of Nigeria, 1 year passed, the second year, the third year, no show. She has not gotten pregnant for her husband. she was not able to give birth, and she and her husband has gone to various hospitals. They have meet gynecologists, they have meet medical practitioners who have confirmed that her husband is capable enough to father a child, and she is also capable enough to give birth. But nothing is coming forth, no pregnancy. And she became worried. But her husband loves her so much that the husband is saying, babe, you don't need to worry. I love you so much. After all, I have 5 brothers and 2 sisters. I came from a family of 8. I am not bothered. I didn't marry you for you to give me children. Yes, I love children. They are gifts from God. If it comes, fine. If it doesn't, fine. We will live our life happy. You don't need to stress yourself because you cannot give birth. And after all, there is nothing wrong with you, according to all the medical practitioners that you and I have seen. So please relax. The husband is showering this lady with a lot of love, but in her mind, she is so devastated because after her 3rd year in her husband's house, without her giving birth to a child, she became so worried. And now she had to meet some of her friends and tell them what she is passing through in her husband's house. And her friends advise her, girl, you know what? Calm down. Everything will be all right. And she told her friends that she wants to confess what she did when they went for their National Youth Service. That she wants to confess to her husband, that maybe if she confessed to her husband, she will conceive. Maybe if she confessed to her husband, all these things will stop. She said, you know what? I don't want to enter menopause without being called a mother. I want to behold my own child. I want to feel what it's like to be a mother. And her friends shut her up. They said, you can't do this. Do you want to ruin your home? How do you want your husband to start seeing you? He might even throw you out of the house. Don't do this, girl. Don't. Please. You are okay. You are satisfied. Fine. By a gynecologist, by all the medical practitioners that you and your husband have seen. So please calm down. You are going to give birth at the right time. God's time is the best, all this and all that. And some of them are saying, that one is your business. If you want to tell your husband, don't just mention my name, please. So she was shattered. She didn't even know what to believe. But because of what her 2 friends told her not to tell her husband and all that, she said, okay. She now went back home and started living with the husband again, but not happy. Not happy. Yes, not happy, no joy again. So the 3rd year has passed. The 4th year has passed. Now, in the 5th year, she became so restless. She said, you know what? I am going to tell my husband all the things I did when I went for my National Youth Service. If he wants to forgive me, fine. If he doesn't want to forgive me, fine. But I have to clear my conscience. I am losing my mind. I can't do this again. I don't know what to do. I have to tell my husband. He loves me so much. I think he will forgive me. I don't want to go down without being called a mother. I want to behold my own child. I want to see my own children. This is my 5th year in this marriage, and yet I have nothing to show for it. I want my own child. I will tell my husband the truth. And as at that time she was contemplating on telling her husband went on a tour outside the country. And she said, you know what? Immediately my husband comes back to this country, I am going to spill the bean. I'm going to tell my husband the whole truth and nothing but the truth. I think he will forgive me. Even if he doesn't forgive me, no problem, but I will tell him the truth. So on the day her husband came back to the country, she was meant to go and pick her husband up from the airport. And she drove to the airport. Immediately, this lady beholds her husband. She slumped. 4 hours later, she woke up in the hospital. And again, she behold her husband sitting by her side in the hospital bed. And she started crying, saying, "Baby, please forgive me. I am so sorry." And the husband was like, "Why didn't you tell me? You should have told me. Look at the stress you're putting yourself to." And the husband was like, "Oh, you should have told me. I would have looked for another alternative. I would have entered CAP. You shouldn't have bothered. You didn't even tell me the good news. You didn't even tell me that you're not feeling okay." And she was like, "Good news? What?" And the husband said, "Baby, you are 4 weeks gone. You are 4 weeks pregnant." And she was like, "What?" She shouted on top of her voice. She became so happy. 4 days later, she was discharged from the hospital and she came back home, started living with her husband again. And this time around, her joy knows no bound. She was so happy. She was still praying to God, asking God to forgive her what she did. And you know what? God saw this lady throughout her pregnancy from the 4th month to the 9th month, no complication. And she gave birth to a bouncing baby boy. And so, in Nigeria, or should I say in some part of Nigeria, when you give birth, after 3 months, you will take your child to the church. It is called child dedication. So after 3 months that she has given birth, she sent an invitation to some of her friends who is still in the states that she and her husband is residing, to family and friends, to colleagues, everybody, that they should come and join them, thank the Lord for the great things that the Lord has done for them. I mean, for them giving birth for their bouncing baby boy. And most of her friends came and all that. They married together. The child went to the church. They came back to the house for the reception. And two of her friends called her out and said, "Girl, I think you should tell your husband. Now you have a child. You should tell your husband what you did back then. Your husband is such a loving man. He loves you so much. I think when you tell him, he will forgive you. Yes, you should tell him what you did. He will forgive you. I don't think he will throw you out again. He loves you even when you did not give birth. Now you've given birth. He will love you. Please tell your husband what you did. Yes, tell him." And she was like, "You know what? I don't even want to tell my husband in the first place. The only reason why I want to tell my husband is because I couldn't give birth. So in my mind, I thought that is because of what I did when we went for our youth service. But now I don't think it's necessary." And the friend was like, "You have to tell your husband." And the other one was like, "Don't tell your husband. Even if you are going down, you have to go down with this secret. You don't need to tell your husband again. Don't tell him again. The deed has been done. You can only tell it to God. God has forgiven you. Yes, don't tell your husband, because if you tell your husband, he might hate you. He might be seeing you as an unfaithful wife. You may regret it. Don't even try to tell your husband. Just allow the sleeping dog lie. Please don't ever tell your husband." And the other one was, and the other of our friends was saying, you have to tell your husband. So now she is now contemplating, should I tell my husband what I did when I went for my national youth service? Or should I just let it slide? Should I just let the sleeping dog lie? So please, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. The story has come to an end. And until I come your way next time, please and please stay intentional, stay positive, and have dominion. Please subscribe, turn on the post notification so that anytime I upload a new video, you will be the first to get notified. Please subscribe. Please, subscription is actually free. please and please and please and please subscribe. Biko Ejo, please subscribe. Yay!